On this episode of Paths of Fear, someone over-engineers animatronic software. Banana buggies are a surprisingly common hazard. And we hear possibly the worst father-daughter impromptu acting interview.
What you gonna do with all that junk inside your trunk?
Stop.
But she's talented, right? She should be in the Sour Grapes bunch or something. You have to put her in the show.
There is no show. We're canceled.
What?
So take her junk somewhere else.
It's the Banana Splits movie. Welcome to Paths of Fear, the podcast where we give you our takes on horror movies and explore the opinions of our audience. That's you. I'm Ian.
And I'm not Ian. I'm Marshall.
Today, we'll be taking a look at the Banana Splits movie. It was written by Jed Elinoff and Scott Thomas and directed by Danishka Esterhazy.
God, what a movie, dude. What a movie.
Indeed, what a movie. What a movie indeed.
Do you want to tell us all about the movie, Ian?
Oh man, I mean, how can you even describe it? How can you describe it when we saw it like over a month ago, I think?
We've been a little derailed for sure.
It's interesting because I know that the Banana Splits used to be a real show, like a real kid show, and I think it was like from the 70s or something. So I think to be nostalgic over it, you got to be, you got to be a little older. So I didn't really relate. But it seems like it does have an interesting history. So that's kind of cool. But as far as movies go, it's one of those silly horror movies where you're not necessarily expecting the best of writing or the best of
Yeah,
the best production value.
it's a fun movie. It's not meant
Exactly,
to blow you away.
yeah, it's meant to just get some laughs and, make sure you have a good time. So, that's the kind of movie it is.
And for the kind of movie it is, Ian, what did you give it?
I give it a 4 because I
4?
don't care what kind of movie it
Oh
is.
my
All right,
God.
I only have so
Well,
much
this whole
time in the
rant
day.
about, like, this is like it's good for what it is.
You know what? Fuck this
I
movie.
don't care what it is.
I'm moving from a 4 to a 3. I don't care.
Oh my, got a 3.
I'm
Oh
giving it.
my goodness
I'm
gracious.
giving this movie the gravy treatment. Okay.
Wow. I can't believe this.
So there you go. I'll talk about it. But before we get into that, what did you give it?
I gave it a 7. I took it for what it was. I enjoyed it.
You gave it the gravy treatment. I see how
I
it
know.
is.
I think gravy I gave like an 8 or a 9, well, I want to say.
Oh,
That's what I give it in
damn.
hindsight, at least.
Jeez.
If not a perfect. No, I wouldn't give it a perfect 10, but I would give it an 8 or a 9.
Eh, well, we'll have to see. Maybe I'm gonna downgrade gravy even more when we go do our recap
Oh
thing.
my God. Well, before we hop right into our summary, Ian, where you describe it in greater detail, the audience rated this a 5.5. So it makes sense where we landed. It's about the halfway point, I think, or perfectly. No, almost the halfway point. Since
Yeah.
you went down to a 3, I think. I can't do that mental math in my head right now. We're speaking. I can't do both at once.
See,
So-
three plus.
3 plus 2.5 and then 5.5 and 2.5.
Whoa,
much.
hold on. What rating did you give this movie? I've already
I gave it
forgotten.
a 7.
Okay. So seven plus 3 divided by 2. I think we could do that,
5.
right?
Yeah, hopefully. We're being as silly as the movie is, Ian. Hop into that summary and we'll move right along.
All right. Let me tell you a story. It's the morning of her son Harley's birthday, and Beth is on the phone. She's calling other parents from school, seeing if she can get any other kids to show up at the birthday party, but isn't having much luck. Her endearing husband is sure to show his support for his biological son.
There's gotta be someone else we can invite.
There's not too many kids his age that still like that show.
It's because it's stupid, Beth.
It's his favorite show. And I bought tickets 5 months ago, so like it or not, we are going to a live taping of the Banana Split.
Beth and Mitch surprise Harley with the 5 tickets to a live showing of the Banana Split show. Enough for the 3 of them, Harley's half-brother Austin, and his classmate Zoe, the one kid Beth managed to recruit to the cause. After driving down to the soundstage for the live taping, they get in line with all the other raving Splits fans and meet Paige, the show's audience coordinator.
Who's excited to see the Banana Splits? Hi, I'm Paige, the audience Paige. Paige the Page. Guess you could say I was born to do this job. God, I hope not. Please have your tickets ready, and I'll get you checked in lickety-splits.
Paige and her assistant Doug promptly collect everyone's phones in preparation for the recording. Soon after, a small cartoon-like car turns the corner and gives a few clownish honks. Everyone turns and claps when they see the show's animatronic stars inside. Fleagle, a beagle, Bingo, an orangutan, Drooper, a lion, and Snorky, an elephant. When Harley realizes his favorite everything of all time is driving right up to them, he smiles wide and does what any superfan would do. Steps right in front of their car.
Harley!
Luckily, the animatronics decide to spare his life. For now. Mitch couldn't care less about his son tempting fate.
Huh? Hey, I need that. It's work.
Harley was almost hit by a banana buggy.
Jesus, that'd be an embarrassing way to die.
Having seen the animatronics almost hit Harley outside, the eclectic creator of the Banana Splits, Carl, decides to run a software update on Drooper. After Carl leaves the room, with Drooper plugged into a computer, the green text showing update progress turns red as "The show must go on" blinks across the monitor. Right outside the room, the show's producer, Rebecca, is rushing to get the show started on time, but is interrupted when Andy lets her know that the show's been canceled, and that this is the last episode she'll be producing.
Well, I'm the vice president of programming now. And the Banana Splits doesn't really represent my vision for the network.
Are you kidding? We're still a huge hit.
Yeah, but it's old and stupid. And I want to do something cool and edgy, so today's your last show.
Soon after, the final episode begins. Fleagle, Snorky, and Bingo come on stage as they're introduced by the announcer, dancing to music, followed by Stevie, a grown man riding a small bike and wearing childish clothing. It seems he's an honorary member of the Splits. Notably, however, Drooper is missing, still out of commission. During the show, Andy is pulled from his room by someone or something, leaving nothing behind but his lit celebratory cigar. Drooper then finally makes an appearance on stage for the last scene of the show. It's time to spin the Wheel of Endings.
It's gonna land on Rockout. They always land on Rockout.
Why don't you spin it, Trooper? Might be the last time you ever do.
Okay, Stevie.
The 4 animatronics and an evidently inebriated Stevie rock out on stage to the Banana Splits theme song. It's all good fun, though Trooper does accidentally pull Stevie's legs out from under him whilst swinging around with his guitar.
Seemed on purpose. Trooper wouldn't hurt anybody on purpose.
No, honey, I think it's just part of the show.
Harley and his family head out to the parking lot after the show, but they're stopped by Paige.
Where do you think you're going?
We don't have stars in our tickets.
Do you really think the Banana Splits aren't going to want to meet their biggest fan on his birthday?
Sorry. How long is this gonna take?
They head out back with 2 other groups, the social media-obsessed couple of Thad and Poppy, as well as aspiring child actress father-daughter pair, Jonathan and Parker. Mitch, still intent on coming last in Father of the Year voting, follows his cell phone outside. Meanwhile, Stevie meanders back to his room, taking swigs from a liquor bottle. As he passes his animatronic castmates, he makes sure to mock them.
Here's to you. I've hated every minute of working with you assholes.
Drooper doesn't take kindly to this. When Stevie walks back into his room and sits at the vanity, Drooper is suddenly behind him with an overly large lollipop. he gently places the sweet treat into Stevie's throat. The backstage pass holders finally make their way to the animatronics meet and greet, though Beth, realizing Mitch peeled away, goes looking for him. The animatronics stand ominously still as everyone takes photos with them, though Drooper, who appears to have some strawberry jam residue on his snout, does give Harley a high five. After pictures, Jonathan and Parker quickly skedaddle, seeking out Rebecca the producer, despite Paige's refusal to set up an introduction. Paige chases after them. Seeing an opportunity, Thad and Poppy also sneak off to explore. Austin then decides to leave Harley and Zoe, the two small children, on their own so he can go after his mom, Beth. Harley and Zoe seem content to stick around until they realize Snorky has disappeared, so they walk off as well to go looking for him. Beth finds Mitch outside on his phone. Suspicious, she grabs it from him and sees that he's been sexting his mistress the whole night. Way to go, Mitch.
I swear it was just one time.
There's hundreds of these sleeping with your assistant. God, you're such a cliche.
Beth, I knew it, man. I knew you were a scumbag.
You should
Okay,
what?
stop,
You
stop,
should what,
stop, stop.
little boy? You know what? You're just a 19-year-old burnout. That's all you are.
Mitch, certainly filled with guilt, walks out to the car to dutifully wait for his family. Oh, never mind, he's calling his girlfriend.
Hey, guess whose night just freed up?
Jonathan and Parker find Rebecca in her office, cleaning out her desk, as Paige comes in after them, looking apologetic. After failing to impress Rebecca with their rendition of My Humps by the Black Eyed Peas, she tells them the bad news. The show's been canceled. Paige is stung by the news and heads out to collect the rest of the guests, though not before Jonathan and Parker run off again. Meanwhile, Thad proposes to Poppy while live streaming from Fleagel's Magic Shop stage. After she says yes, they get a surprise visit from Fleagle, who decides to show them a cool magic trick. He makes Thad's phone disappear into little metal bits. Seeing that Thad is unimpressed, Fleagle steps it up a notch and forces Thad into the magic sawing in half table, where, well, he saws Thad in half. Poppy is not pleased. Jonathan and Parker manage to track down Andy's room. Surely they can impress this executive. Instead of finding Andy, however, they find Drooper sitting in his chair. Drooper decides to show Jonathan his rendition of Hairspray and a lighter. Paige finds Beth and Austin, and they head off to look for the others. In the parking lot, Mitch manages to find Snorky, or rather the front bumper of the Banana Splits buggy that Snorky's driving finds Mitch. Rebecca meets up with Paige, Beth, and Austin as they're looking for the others when Jonathan finally wanders into the area, looking a little rough for wear.
Sir, can you hear me? What happened?
They attacked me.
Who did?
Banana splits.
Paige, call 911.
Paige runs off to find a phone, while Rebecca stays with Jonathan. Austin and Beth rush off to find where the kids have gone. While looking around Bingo's jungle stage, though, Bingo nabs Austin. This activates Beth's Big Mama mode. After tearing off her sweater to show off her Sigourney Weaver tank top, she runs up to the stage catwalk to where Bingo's holding Austin hostage.
Time's almost up.
For you.
Bingo's no match for her badassery, as Beth throws the giant animatronic over the railing, sending him crashing into the ground 20 feet below. The Splits bring the three kids, Harley, Zoe, and Parker, to a locked cage in Carl's workshop. Carl, mostly unharmed, save for a few fingers, isn't coping well with the Splits' behavior, though is mostly reeling from the network's cancellation of his show. Harley manages to convince him to sneak them the keys to the cage before Drooper comes back, dragging along the damaged Bingo, whom Carl rushes to repair. The animatronic lion tells the kids that the show's about to begin. When he leaves, though, the kids make their escape. Carl, though, seeming to have changed his mind about helping the kids, tries to stop them. Harley hits him with a scalding iron that just happens to be sitting there, and the three of them manage to lock Carl into the cage before leaving.
You'll never stop them!
Paige frantically looks through the office for a phone she can use from the ones they collected before the show, but they've all been smashed to bits. Meanwhile, Flegel and Drooper find Rebecca and Jonathan. They throw them into the sloppy time obstacle course stage, and Flegel motions for them to complete it as Drooper mans the camera. Out of options, the two make their way through the course. Unfortunately, this version of the course does not allow for winning. After climbing the tower overlooking the ball pit, Flegel stabs Jonathan with the winning key and throws him off the tower.
It's time to fly!
Just to the side of the ball pit. Rebecca runs past him and jumps into the pit, only to get a face full of hammer when Drooper congratulates her on completing the course.
She did it! He took it down to Hammer Town!
The kids try to make their way out of the building, but are stopped in their tracks by no other than Harley's favorite banana split, Snorky. Zoe valiantly offers to sacrifice herself, but Harley has another idea. Snorky starts to mirror Harley's dance moves. After Harley offers his hand, Snorky gently takes it and leads them away. Paige meets back up with Beth and Austin, and the three of them find Poppy sobbing next to Thad's bloody, cut-in-half corpse. Poppy leads them to where she saw Flegel take the kids, the workshop, where they find Carl locked up instead.
How do we stop the banana splits?
You can't.
You built them. There must be a way.
The show must go on.
Is that music?
The group finds a trap door leading into a basement with music coming from within. Paige, Austin, and Beth jump in, but Poppy stays behind. In the workshop, Poppy finds pieces for an unknown fifth banana split, a female owl named Hootie. As she relays to Carl how the splits killed her fiancé, she adorns Hootie's head and claws before breaking into Carl's cage.
Stay because of you.
She murders Carl with Hootie's claws. In the studio's basement, the group finds Paige's assistant Doug laying motionless on the ground, Bingo's drumsticks deep inside his eye sockets. Next to him, the rest of the audience members lie dead in a pile, except for all of the children. After following the sound of music, they find them. Drooper and Flegel have them chained up in front of them as they continue performing the show. While they stay hidden, Snorky shows up with Harley, Zoe, and Parker, chaining them up with the rest of the kids, though leaving Harley with the key. They're just in time to see the splits spin the wheel of endings, this time with guest star Mr. Executive Andy attached to it, bloody but still alive.
Banana split!
What's a banana split?
What's a banana split?
What's a banana split? I don't know. It always lands on rock out.
Beth runs out from hiding, hoping to stop the kids from seeing whatever's about to happen.
Everybody close your eyes. Close your eyes. Don't watch this.
Andy screams as Drooper and Flegel pull him from the wheel, his hands and feet tearing through the stakes that were holding him. With the animatronics distracted, Harley starts unlocking the leg cuffs holding everyone together. After the banana splitting of Andy, Austin runs off with all the kids, while Beth stays behind to fend off Drooper and Flegel. While Beth puts up a good fight, the two animatronics quickly overwhelm her and go to force her head into a pipe that just happens to have fire in it for some reason.
Trooper,
Austin, not one to take instructions well, comes back and throws a crowbar through Flegel's head. After Flegel drops to the ground, Drooper knocks out Austin and starts strangling Beth. Luckily, Beth had birthed 2 sons who could throw well, and Harley shows up just in time. He tosses Beth the expandable Banana Splits wand, a birthday gift from Austin, which Beth promptly sticks in Trooper's jaws and activates. The wand impales Trooper's head, and he falls to the ground as well. Beth and her sons run to catch up with Paige and the rest of the kids, but are stopped in their tracks by Bingo, who seems ready for a rematch.
Time's almost up.
Before Beth can have another go at it, though, Snorky charges Bingo from the side, tackling him to the ground. After Bingo manages to tear out Snorky's beating mechanical heart, he seems to have the upper hand. Despite this, though, Snorky splits Bingo's head down the middle before collapsing.
Snorky!
Harley, no!
Harley rushes to the side of his favorite banana split.
Snorky. You'll always be my favorite.
Outside, the police finally arrive, and it seems everyone is finally safe. Mitch is even alive, surely to everyone's relief.
Honey, I got hit by a car. It was awful. But it made me realize something. I don't want to be with Kara. I want you. I love you, Beth.
Beth punches Mitch square in the face, knocking him out cold.
I want a divorce.
The police don't seem to care. Actually, no one seems to care. The last ambulance on site drives off, with the now conscious Mitch chasing after it.
I'm injured! Oh, I don't believe this!
Mitch is suddenly hit by the Banana Split's buggy once again, this time rolling under it, getting churned to gore by the wheels. Hootie, is the driver. She sings the Banana Splits theme song as she drives away, the broken animatronics piled into the attached trailer. The show must go on.
That was a good story.
Yeah,
I
thank
thought
you.
so, at least. I guess you thought it was a crap story.
Yeah, I hated writing this summary. I was burning with rage while writing it.
Oh my god. All right. Well, tell us why it burned you with so much rage.
I'm probably slightly over exaggerating. It's not. This movie isn't like offensively bad. It is just bad though. So I think for me, like, honestly, my reasons for not liking it are especially interesting. I think the main detractors is the acting and the dialogue is real bad.
They're weak.
It's
Yes.
it's definitely not good. Even people who like the movie know that it's not good. And that's because that can totally work for this kind of movie. This kind of movie, for it to be good, the acting doesn't have to be good, although it does help if it is good. The dialogue doesn't have to be good, although it does still help if it is good. That can still work if it's funny. But I didn't think this movie was very funny. You can have like stupid funny from like excessively grotesque deaths or like incredibly silly plot lines, things like that, right? You can go pretty crazy with it. I just don't think that this movie did all that much. You know, I didn't think
Okay.
much of the deaths, aside from one that I think I liked a good bit, but I still actually have complaints about that one too.
All right.
Um, but yeah, just generally, I'll just say that it had the bad parts of a bad movie, and it didn't have enough of the good parts about a bad movie. So
I think that's a pretty fair thing to say. My whole thing was it wasn't they made it felt like a tight budget for what they were working with. And I think they made it go pretty far. I guess I haven't looked into it. So if it was like a $10 million budget, then it should have gone farther. Um, but I'm gonna look this up. Actually, I should look this up before the movie. Oh yeah, it was made on a budget of under $1 million, which for movies is nada. Granted, like we have, for example, Obsession, which was like 750,000, so also under a million. That just made crazy money. But that's the exception, not the rule. Generally, if you're working under a million, you're gonna get a movie that's under $1 million. That's just how it is. Um, I thought it was corny enough fun, and I thought it was kind of neat seeing these what are meant to be nostalgic characters back for something kind of twisted. And I thought that was a good time. Um, and I want to say this movie came out right around when Five Nights at Freddy's was really blowing up. Like it was almost trying to be Five Nights at Freddy's before Five Nights at Freddy's got a movie.
I
Is
could
the
see that.
sense I got from it. Yeah. So I think they're just capitalizing on that some and then also just taking an old IP, old kids IP and doing something really different with it. And I admire that. I think it was a lot of fun. I will agree that it didn't have it wasn't as crazy in its kills and it wasn't as funny bad as it ought to have been for a movie that wasn't necessarily good. But I don't think it hurt it enough for me to give it a lower score. I could maybe argue down to a 6, but I liked the movie overall and had enough fun with it.
Yeah. I will say, and I do have some good things to say. So,
Oh yeah. Let's hear
or
me.
at least I have one good thing. So, and I'll say it right now. Um, as far as things that are bad about this movie that actually make it good, I loved Mitch. And for those who forget or don't know, Mitch is the dad.
Just the
You know,
terrible, terrible dad. Yeah.
yeah, the terrible dad, and Harley, by the way, is not his stepson. It's his
I know
biological
that
son.
blew me. That was the biggest twist of the movie, honestly.
Yeah, Harley is his biological son. And Austin is his stepson. And man, he treats both of them like they're just like they're kids he met that day, and he's a person who hates kids.
Oh my god, he's the worst.
um, but honestly, like this is the best bad part of the movie to me because the movie just goes full throttle. We need to make this guy as shitty as possible without making it sad, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
because obviously it'd be pretty easy just to make him straight up abusive, and then that'd just be sad. But instead, he's just got this vibe about him of he just he's just a total shitbag. Like
Yeah,
it's
no, he has
crazy.
0 redeeming qualities.
Yeah, like he's actively cheating on his wife, of course. Every time his wife talks about his biological son, he's like, that fucking loser. Like it's crazy how much horribleness they pack into him. And of course, I will say I do like they do some pretty good foreshadowing with how he's gonna die. Like because the Harley like jumps in front of the little buggy that the animatronics are driving around, and his dad says that would be a stupid way to die, and then of course he gets hit by the buggy and dies that way.
Well, correct me if he doesn't die though.
Oh, that's true. He
We
comes
see him
back.
later, and I do wish he died there. That was actually a bit of a gripe I had, is I wish he had died there. But I guess they needed her to get that redeeming punch in, they let her dish out justice to him.
Right. Yeah.
Which, like, I understand that notion, but I think you would have gotten a lot more value out of fully using that foreshadowing and just letting your audience cheer for his death.
Damn. You know what? You're right. I was actually gonna say that Mitch brings this movie back up to a
Oh
4, but
no.
no, now you're right. Now it's going back down to a 3.
Oh, I argued against the movie. Oh, this is terrible. This is not how it's supposed to be. For those that don't know, Ian just edited our little document to go Ian's rating 4 to 3 to 4 to 3.
I just want to get this on the record.
Yeah, just keeping track. I'm sticking at my 7.
Oh man. Well, do you have anything any more large items to focus on for this movie?
No, I don't have any overall it was just a fun movie and stuff, and I got to talk about Mitch and how he should have died. What I will talk about that I think is kind of a big deal is we almost got a sequel of this movie, and like you can find it online and such, not actual
Oh.
films, but like what would have been the sequel called The Banana Splits 2. Split Road Split, I think.
Mhm.
Not a I they couldn't make it Banana Splits or like Rocky Road. Or like I don't know. They were going for something that wasn't there. I don't understand Road Split. Uh that was a
Yeah,
weird one to me.
that is a little odd.
It's possible that the franchise would have fallen off there. We'll never know because it didn't get made. So it stays in its peak. Now, the other thing I'll say is I had a gripe with Mitch not dying to the car, and then I had a gripe with oh god, Thad and his girlfriend. I forget her name.
Poppy. Poppy.
Poppy. Thank you, Ian. Hold on. No. Oh god, I did it. Oh god.
That picked up on the microphone. Leave that in.
I imagine so. I just might. But okay, so I had a gripe with Mitch, and his whole death and such. But then I had a huge issue with Thad and Poppy's death scene. And it's so common in horror movies to be like, why are you running upstairs? You gotta run away, and that's downstairs. You're just cornering yourself out. Like the classic kind of why is our character so stupid?
Yeah.
But Poppy, like there was no effort being put into restraining Poppy. There didn't need to be any. She just screamed and screamed and screamed and did nothing. And then she just sat by him forever and it was like, I can't leave. And we're just like, I get you're filled with I like you're despairing and mourning over Thad. But you can't just sit here and wait to die. There's gotta be some survival instinct that kicks in here. But then she goes into this wild, just revenge arc, and then she also saves the banana splits at the end, and I was like, this girl's just nuts. I think she was nuts before all of this happened to her. Like, I think if Dad didn't get cut in half, I think she would have cut him in half at some point.
Do you think that this adds to the movie?
Uh,
Is this a good thing, maybe?
I think it added to the craziness of just like what the heck is going on here. We have like a heroine in our midst now. It's the making of a heroine movie as well. So it balances out for me in the end, but if anything, I think it does ultimately take away if I have to choose a side.
I will say it's funny, I also do have a gripe with Poppy Thad, and Thad's death, but mine's a little different. My gripe is I didn't like the way that Flegel, the dog animatronic, cut him in half because and maybe in a way it's more interesting, but he's using a saw, right?
Oh, but he presses the saw.
But he just presses the saw into him, and it looks like it's just not working very well, but
Yeah.
he's just pressing on it and kinda wiggling it back and forth instead of, like, sawing him in half. I just thought that was a little odd, to be honest. I know that this is the nittiest of nitpicks, but this is why it's in this is why it's in my specifics section of my notes, but I just thought that I think the kill would have been better if he just sawed him in half, honestly. Or alternatively, um, because I think this maybe does lead to a larger thing about the movie, and it is indeed a limitation of their budget and also of the animatronics themselves now they are in the original show. But because they're just people in costumes, they don't exactly communicate animatronic strength, even though the
Mhm.
movie gives them animatronic strength. And so
Yeah.
if you had like an actual animatronic, like just pressing the saw down into Thad and it just doesn't stop and it just presses all the way through him, that would also be awesome.
Mhm.
But instead, it just kind of looks like he's struggling and then suddenly Thad's cut in half, right? So I don't really like this didn't affect the score for me or anything, but yeah, I think that that is kind of just a limitation that they were dealing with there, and also the choice that they went with. It just I wish they went one way or the other as far as like just pressing down with pure strength or just sawing him in half and blood going everywhere.
Yeah, and I'll say that that animatronic like strength or like weight is what I'm gonna complain about. Of the mom throwing the orangutan bingo off the edge of the railing and the
Oh yeah.
catwalk. Like that thing weighs like 2 tons, right? Like that's just pure metal there.
Okay,
That
to be fair, she was in her tank top era.
Oh, that's true. I forgot she lost her sleeves by that point. Um, but and again, it's kind of a redeeming thing because I was like, yeah, she's actually like freaking awesome. This is sweet. But at the same time, I couldn't help but think she just threw over like 2 tons. She basically just threw an elephant, right? Like this is
Mhm.
insane. Um, and then also the orangutan was bouncing up and down on that rope, and I was like, that is one hell of a that is the nuttiest bungee I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Um,
like you could imagine like a world where like she throws Bingo off of the catwalk and he crashes into the ground and like leaves a crater or something.
yeah,
Like he leaves a
exactly.
massive dent and it's like and then like, Austin's like, "Oh my god, mom, how'd you get so strong?"
That I was like, "Ooh, that's a little iffy right there." But again, it was one of those nitpicky things, and it didn't hurt the moment of the movie too much for me.
Yeah, and also like when we're talking about like these sort of nitty picks, I think the thing is like the answer isn't necessarily for the movie to fix it, make it more realistic or anything. The answer could just as easily be make it even sillier so we're not paying attention to these. Because the
Yeah.
very fact that we're noticing and paying attention to these tells me that the movie isn't like doing enough for us, right?
Yeah, or that we're
Otherwise,
not laughing at it because
right,
of that reason, yeah.
exactly. Um and I do have another this one's I don't even think this one's less of a nitpick. This is just a disappointment for me.
Okay.
But the show's producer, Rebecca, she's the one who like the executive tells her like, "Ah, show's been canceled."
Yep.
Um, and at the beginning of the movie, she's rushing around trying to get the show together, and she's got like this hammer that she's holding, like this cartoonish hammer. She's like, "We need a bigger hammer." And I wrote in my notes, I was like, "I can't wait to see the bigger hammer that like she's gonna get killed with."
Um,
But she just gets killed with that little small hammer. And I was very sad about that. I really wanted them to find a really big hammer. I thought,
yeah.
I thought it was like I thought that was gonna, it was gonna be a simple setup and everything, and I was just a little disappointed.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to do. It's a mix of dramatic irony and foreshadowing. It's like I almost wanna call it, like foreshadowing irony, I guess, because of course, she wouldn't want a bigger hammer, then she gets, I guess, way more dead later. Um,
I call it betrayal, and I'm
exactly, I
lowering
think
my
it comes
score.
across as betrayal. Oh, no.
I'm lowering my
Oh,
score
no.
to a 2.
Oh my god. Dang. This is the longest line I've ever seen of score changes. Um, but no, I hear that. I think it's just such a hard thing to pull off because it is so easy to make it feel like betrayal, set up without, payoff or with, like, a dramatic irony payoff is weird.
Yeah.
Um, well, alrighty, and with that, shall we hop into what our audience thought? They already submitted their thing, so they can't change their score on us now.
That's right. Yeah, you guys are not allowed to change your score unless I guess you could submit a new entry while we're actively recording
I
if you
suppose so.
know when we're recording.
But also, please don't double submit entries. If you really hate a movie, send us a message instead of skewing our scores. We can take it. We don't like hold ourselves accountable for the quality of the movie. If anything, it's your vote. It's your fault for voting for it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah. Well, just as a reminder, our audience's average score was a 5.5, with our low being at a 3, but our high being at a 9. Wild. I liked this movie. 9 is wild. So I'm glad you enjoyed it so much. Heck yeah. Um, as for scare score, we were sitting at mostly ones. We did have a 6, but our average turned into a 2.25.
Yeah.
Um, but Ian, shall we guess what the scariest part of that 2.25 was now?
Yeah. Go ahead and read out the paths of fear question answers.
Here we go, Ian. So our first option, the corruption of childhood figures, gory and gruesome kills, how overpowering the machine characters can be, and being forced to be a hostage participant.
um I guess I'll go for the corruption childhood things.
Corruption of childhood figures.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Nope, that one didn't receive any votes in. They got nothing.
Wow, okay.
I know, I'm so sorry. Our our top answer was actually being forced to be a hostage participant.
Okay, well that just makes too much sense.
It does, doesn't it? Oh, knowing our audience and how I've contaminated them into that being the worst thing, because that's the thing I hate most. I hate that in any situation. We all know my take on the Saw movies.
I thought you were just gonna I thought you were talking about how your take is that being a hostage really sucks.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I mean that is my take, but being a hostage participant in someone's messed up game, that is the worst case scenario. And I've
Yeah.
made it very clear that I find the nearest wall in that situation and I bang my head into it until I die. They get nothing
Yeah,
out of me.
you have told me this before, yeah.
Yeah. And so I refuse to give them the satisfaction.
You
Um
refuse to play the game.
exactly. Like I'm probably gonna die either way. So I'm gonna go out without you getting satisfaction and get wrecked. Uh well with that, Ian, do you wanna hop into any specific answers that stood out to you?
Yeah, so, I'll start with this one. This one's a pretty simple answer. Uh,
Okay.
it's for this question. For those who don't know, The Banana Splits was a real show before this movie. What other non-horror franchises, if any, do you think would loan itself to being parodied into the horror genre? And this person answered and gave a very descriptive answer. They said, in all lowercase, Shrek.
Oh, was there punctuation?
Nope.
Oh wow, that's a good answer. I like that.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty standout answer. I mean, I think it pretty much describes itself. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
there's not really much I can add to that.
Well, here's my question, Ian. Do you think Shrek would make for a good horror franchise spinoff, like parody spinoff thing?
All right, let's. I'll get serious about this ridiculous question.
Yes, please do. Ian did indeed get very serious about this. Serious enough that we have a new Discord exclusive clip in our Paths of Fear Discord. The episode ran into overtime, trying to give him space to explain why Shrek makes such a great horror movie. So if you want to hear that, hop in that Discord. I'm gonna hop into the standout answer to me. This came from our big fan of the movie, and I very much appreciate their answer here. So thank you very very much. Um, this was just in our anything else you want to say question. I'll read it as we find it in the survey. Watching all but the movie review portion of Banana Split's Ultimate Deep Dive in History by YouTuber Ross Wheel, I might have butchered that pronunciation. I'm sorry if so. Was the perfect prequel to enjoying this fun little comedy horror far more than expected, with a side of Adderall and cannabis. The movie didn't go hard, but it was an amazing use of nostalgic childhood characters. The Banana Splits movie leaned toward giving the fans what they wanted instead of blowing their minds, and that worked for me. And I think that captures pretty well what we're going for here, you know? Like it did a good job of using these characters in a fun way. And yes, it could have been better, but a lot of things could have been better. I thought it was pretty good for what it was. So,
and well, now we
someone's
know
on my
that
side here.
if you really want to enjoy this movie, you got to be on psychedelics.
Yeah, which is fine. Sometimes it's how you enjoy a movie, and that's how it's supposed to be enjoyed. And that's life.
Yeah,
It's
that
not how
that
you're supposed.
yeah.
If a movie requires psychedelics to enjoy it, it's probably not a good movie. But
um,
well, you
well,
want to hop into your last survey? Stand out,
yeah,
Ian?
I've got one last standout
All
here.
right.
This is also just like the anything else section. They say, it's been a couple of days, and the only thing that really sticks with me is how trash Mitch is. The best moment in the whole film is when his wife clocks him. She's my actual hero for that. And yeah, I like this one because it agrees with what I say, so that's why I like it. Um, and it does just point to the fact that Mitch is so memorable because of how terrible they made him, and I think that's wonderful. I
Yeah.
wish more characters in the movie were were like as terrible as Mitch.
Yeah, and like for example, I'll just put one as an example. The stepson, or no, sorry, yeah, the stepson of Mitch. He was
Austin.
meant to be like the moody Austin. He was the moody, edgy teen, of course. But he was like halfway, and it was just kind of an alt punk dressed kid that gave some attitude.
He was
They needed to
boring.
go further with it. Yeah, they needed to go further with it and make him like a full on goth or something that wouldn't leave his room and like made satanic rituals on his wall or something because he was like, I hate family and I hate you, Dad. Or
That would
you're
have
not my
been
dad kind of thing.
that would have been awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so I get what you're saying for sure. Of go big or go home kind of thing.
Yeah, Mitch is perfect. That's what I'm saying. Mitch gets a perfect 10 out of 10.
Oh my god, what a take from the movie, and we're going to lose audience members for your Best part about this movie was the dad that couldn't be bothered to be a dad. Loved that part. Oh. Well, I think that's all we have for today. And anything else you want to leave our audience with?
I think I've probably said enough.
All right. Well, without any more tangents and nothing more to say, I will bid you all further adieu.
Farewell.